You know what you've done right now? That video, when I watched it, it looked very bad. And now you've come and explained it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. You explained it so well, you can now see the mindset behind the video and what you're saying. Because at the end of the day,
my homies were apoplectic. We saw the video, we were all...
what the hell? My guy anasema umekaliwa chapati ba.
Like I wanted someone who would come to church with me every Sunday. I wanted someone who already had children and didn't want me to have any more of his children. I wanted someone who would speak my love languages fluently. Like I had a very specific list of this is what I want. And I was like, God, if I meet a man with 70%. If you've watched Indian Matchmaker on Netflix, the Indian Matchmaker lady talks about if you meet someone with 70%, take him or take her. So I was like, Lord, if you give me 70%, it's a wrap. So all that to say, I wrote this list. It was like 15 things, and I met this man, and within 2 weeks, I could see that he had 13 out of the 15, and right now he has 14 out of the 15.
What's the last one?
Tall or neck tattoos. I just said that one is never going.
That's
There's still time.
Guys, we are back again with the best podcast in Kenya. You know it, Based Podcast, and you have a wonderful guest. You know, my name is Zola.
Oh, this is where I introduce myself.
Yes. And say something interesting about who you are. It's actually something people might not know about you.
Mike Mondo. I am the sweetest human being in the world. That one you know. I'm a good guy.
Well, me, you guys know me. Me, I'm an asshole. I'm the direct opposite of you.
Yeah. That's nice. Yeah.
Actually, today I'm overpowered.
Yeah.
Today there are two positive souls apparently on the couch. Then there's me.
Don't worry. Everything has to have balance.
The topic today is about the state of masculinity, or we can say Kenyan masculinity, because we are Kenyans at the end of the day. And Mondo has been kind to grace our set and give us his thoughts on it.
Yes.
Yeah. So the first talking point will be, what is your ideal of a masculine man? And if you can extrapolate examples of these men in Kenyan society.
Yeah. I think maybe you have to first basically understand what masculinity is, and because it's warped right now. A lot of people, I think they don't understand it. But when you talk about masculinity, you're thinking about someone's characteristics, what makes you. Whether it's your spirituality, how well you take care of your health, whether it is how good you take care of family, whether it is how good you are with your friends. All these things encompass masculinity. And I think right now, the state of Kenyan masculinity is that it's being eroded. Slowly by slowly, being eroded, being just chipped away, to the point that we are not having masculine men. We're having men who are just so confused that they don't know where they identify, where they fit. And so they end up doing some crazy shit.
And so what will be an ideal of a man?
A man.
Yeah.
A man, I think,
a man for yourself.
I think if I define a man, I'd say a man who can find balance in each and everything that he does. You can find balance in family, whereby as much as you're assertive with family, but you're also caring and giving. Balance in your job, in terms of you can still work, but you're not going to take crap from your employer or from people you deal with. A man is someone who is very conscious about their health. Please note that is very important. If you don't take care of your health, I don't think you're doing well in terms of being a man. And also spirituality. Find something to believe in. You cannot just you believe in nothing. You just exist. Find something. You have to believe in whatever it is, even if you believe in a cow. I mean, for all I care, but believe in something.
There are people in a certain subcontinent who believe in that. But I'm not saying who they are.
Yes, but that idea of a man being someone who has their definite values and finds balance. You're a guy who you have balance in everything. Nothing is in excess. Everything is balanced out.
Okay, okay. Chim, you have something to say about that?
I actually agree with you, by the way. Honestly speaking, I actually agree with you. Maybe our definition beyond this might differ, but I agree with everything that you said just now.
Yeah.
Entirely.
Same. Actually, Mondo, you've come with that's a serious, as in, just assume it so well, and there's no grain of sand left. That was a perfect example. Now the archetype in Kenyan men.
I mean,
who is the person who is an archetype who fits that?
Funny enough, is you. I don't know if people would know him because he's someone who I'm quite close to, who's a family member. But I consider him actually. I look at him and I see the ultimate definition of a man.
Okay.
And that is one of my younger brothers. Yeah, he's called Eric. For some reason, he just knows how to, find that balance I'm talking about in everything. A very good husband.
Okay.
Yeah. In his job, he's one of the best ever. But you should see the way sometimes he can sit down with his MD and tell him, by the way, I'm not doing this because this is not right. Yeah. And you can see how you can't push him around.
Okay.
And he commands a presence. I tell you, if he walked in here, you would turn and be like, hey, who's that guy?
Okay.
And whenever I look at him, I get quite inspired. And I always sometimes ask him how he does it. How does he manage to pull that off? And he always tells me, what I believe in is what I believe in, as long as it does not hurt, injure, or affect someone else.
Okay.
These are my beliefs, my standards, and I choose not to compromise on them. If I lose, I lose. If I win, I win. Period.
This guy sounds like he's, let me be sorry for saying this, he's a Christian.
Yes, he's a?
Christian.
Christian. Yeah, he is. I get, when I look at him, I'm always...
Yeah, well, even atheists can be men, can be manly. Zola. Directed at you. Even atheists can be men. Hindus, Muslims, it doesn't really matter. But I guess you guys have found common ground in the faith.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, in that regard, we have that common ground. And there's a way, like I said, there's a way he carries himself. You know that, yes, he's a nice guy, but he's not a pushover. You know that kind of feeling of don't cross this line.
It's balance in essence.
Basically, he's good at being a man.
Yes.
Reminds me of a guy called BBO, Big Badoga. Yeah. He's a friend of the podcast. He's good at being a man. Like,
exactly.
Knows when to be assertive, knows when to chill. Yeah.
I see
respect him.
I see him sometimes. Like, I can give you an example. One time he was, I think he was being asked for a bribe for a government service.
Okay.
That was his right.
Okay.
And he literally stood there and he was called for APs in that office. I was the worst in that moment. I was like, bro, let's not create drama. Chill, man. We can figure this out.
Okay.
So we just pay these guys kidogo and said, hell no. I pay you a tax. You will give me what I want.
Kwanza squeeze tax.
And people thought that he's throwing this tantrum. But he wasn't. He's like, Mike, no, if you want to put me in jail, put me in jail. I'm not paying you a single coin. Okay. I want this done and I want it done now. And that assertiveness for me was like, wow. A lot of us as men, we try and expedite, situations. We move forward, But him is like, nah, if it's something that is mine, it's mine. And you're not telling me anything about it. Yeah.
Oh, by the way, I should actually take this point to explain. If anyone is asking where Lily Aisha is, she's still not been dumped. So she's still on vacation in Naivasha, enjoying the new relationship. She'll be back. Oh, jamaa kichoka.
Where? It wasn't kidding.
But for me, an archetype, I was thinking about it. I think the easiest way to find it, if I was to do public facing, I think someone has been able to keep his relationship going. I like Nameless, and I like...
Your Nameless a simp, bro. Nameless a simp, bro.
No.
Straight simp, bro. Simp.
Nameless. I've not finished. Nameless and Julie Gishuru's husband. Someone who actually keeps his physique.
Yeah, from what I've heard about Julie Gishuru's husband, that man he's a strong man.
Keeps his physique going, as in his financially, he supports his family. He has, I think there are 4 kids. One passed on. and you can see that woman adores him. That's a very beautiful woman, and she adores him. You can see this person.
That's someone that leads from the front. Like, that guy decided, our family is going to be healthy, and the guy actually told his wife, I'm working out. He did his thing. She was like, can I join? Yeah, you follow, not a follow between. When he actually is the one who taught her the ropes. That's a man's man. With your example of Nameless, let's not play around, bro. Like, look, I don't like using celebrity examples because some celebrity examples are down to, like, the guy has to, we said be smart about our words, yeah? The guy has to actually kowtow. If you're going to mention to me Nameless, then also mention to me Bahati. Then Bahati is an example of masculinity.
Why is Nameless a problem for you as an example? What has he done like Bahati that has done as in that?
When I hear a man talk about we are pregnant, when I hear a man talk about we are carrying the baby, we had a complicated pregnancy, bruh, there's no we. There's no we.
Actually,
there's nothing wrong with being a man and saying, I'm a man, I can't get pregnant. I will support my wife without having to supplicate.
Yeah. I don't think that's supplicating. I think that is, again, this is based on worldview. You're a Christian. You become one when you get...
I didn't read the Bible at the point where it said verse something and Joseph said we are pregnant. I missed that.
I get what you're saying. But that's not supplication. That I think is just support. Now the thing is this, you might see it as supplication. I don't think it's that. I see it as we are going through this journey pamoja. Because if your wife...
I have no problem with that. You are pregnant. I am with you on this journey. There's no... My nigga, I'm sorry. My guy, you and I have been through some very difficult times.
Yes, yes.
Did you say our back was hurt?
But you're not married.
But let me ask
you. Did you say we were kicked in the nuts when you were kicked in the nuts? No.
Okay, but you're not married. Let Mondo ask.
However, let me ask you this. So why do you give your child your name?
I'm talking about Baba. And it's like this. No. Listen. No, for me, it's like this. That serves two purposes. Okay. There's a legal purpose.
Yes.
The legal purpose which came about with the invention of debt. So that people would know, should this child misbehave, should it accrue a debt through damaging property, who is responsible? Such and such.
Yeah.
There's that's the first reason.
Okay.
The second reason is down to heritage.
Okay.
Who is this child inheriting heritage from? You'll be told, listen, Chim, you've impregnated this girl. Yeah. So now the two of you figure it out. You're married now. Go ye forth, start your family, right? I'm not joining her family. It's not just a child that carries my name.
Yes.
The mother will carry my name.
Yes.
Right? The children will carry my name.
Yes.
It's legacy.
So based off that, Mrs. Chim, basically has come into your life. She's taking your name. These children are going to take your name. So in that aspect of saying we are pregnant, isn't it a fair argument to say that, you know what, that's part of you?
No,
like, because they have your name. This child is going to have your name. So
there are certain immutable truths about life. Yeah. One of those immutable truths is when, for example, when Ashori is pregnant, do guys go around patting your balls like, hey, congratulations? Do they do that? Congratulations. Do they do that? They don't do that.
Yes.
They'll pat her belly and say, congratulations. Even though we know the seed of life came from you. Exactly.
So she's pregnant.
You are pregnant. You are pregnant. I am with you. You are under my covering without me having to supplicate and say, we are pregnant. There is no we.
Well, I mean, I could see that point of view. I mean, if you look at it on a literal sense. But if you're looking at it figuratively, I guess I can see the romanticization of that moment to the point that you say, you know what,
we'll circle back to the romance. We'll circle back to the romanticization.
I've said my point. Maybe for me it was just a Cristiano thing.
Okay.
Might be.
I've never seen it. You keep saying Christian. I've never seen anyone. I didn't see when Solomon had, was it 700 wives and 300 concubines, or the other way around. I didn't see every time Solomon was pregnant, he declared by the temple, we are pregnant. Again. Number 256. I didn't see that.
I understand that. My point was this. You're seeing this person as you become one. Now you're seeing this, the thing she goes through, as in if she's suffering, you are suffering, because that is your wife, she's, as in you are her husband. The thing is, you become so conjoined. That is the idea that anything that goes, she suffers, I also suffer. That is the end game of a good marriage.
I don't see broke men. I don't see my guy Julio. I don't see broke men. When a guy gets broke, the mama says, we are broke. It's you are broke. I don't see when a guy suffers from, some I don't know, misfortune. I don't see the woman say, we are suffering from misfortune. It is you are suffering from misfortune. And even when they are married, it is you have caused this misfortune. Figure it out.
Ndugu, that's why I said the ideal of Christian marriage, but that is another thing. Ideal, not reality
of Christian marriage.
Yes,
I didn't see Eve say we have eaten the fruit,
but he was not a Christian. Let's go to the second question. What are the current issues facing masculinity? And facing on that, to answer the two questions, do women have a role in shaping masculinity? So problems facing masculinity, and can women help?
That's a good one.
Yes.
The problem with masculinity today is that it's fading. Like I said earlier, it's confused, right? We're living in a society right now where a lot of men, and I'd say this younger men, they're called what? Gen
Z. Yeah, but even the younger millennials.
Just are confused. They don't know what it means to be a man.
Yes.
And it's been perpetuated by this ideology of, and I'm sorry to say this, people usually think that I'm homophobic, but this idea of gender roles, I know gender identities, and I identify this way, I identify that way.
Yes.
All this
basically the fluidity.
That fluidity of gender. It's just really messed up everything, that men don't know how to be men. These same men don't know even how to handle their own personal emotions. That's why we're seeing increase in cases of femicide. These same men don't know how to protect and provide for their families.
Okay.
All they think is that, that's why nowadays you find men find it okay to be kept by a shore. And imagine that's cool.
Yes.
Then they accept it completely. Like I'll tell you something I talked about on radio once, where some guy called me and said he's literally looking for a wealthy woman. And I asked this guy, how old are you? And he told me he's 22. And I looked at him, and are you in campus? Have you graduated? Yeah. He had a degree in commerce and majored in accounting. Yeah. And I'm looking at him like, dudes, you get a job. Find something to do, start a hustle or something.
Yeah.
He said, me, I just want a rich woman. She keeps me. Me, I'm happy.
What if the price is right? Atakulwa
haga. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
This gender fluidity has just messed up everything. And to answer your second question about whether or not women have a role, hell no. What does a woman know about being a man?
I love that answer.
Everything that you've said is so based. Like, you are a based man. Save for the femicide comment. Now we'll disagree, but I agree with what you said.
Yes. What does a woman know about being a man?
Thank you.
Nothing.
Bruh, thank you.
Absolutely nothing. The only person who can raise a man to be a man is a man.
Thank you.
Mondo, don't forget this will be hard by
only a lion can raise a lion.
Yes. There is no way. It's just, let me ask you. How am I going to teach? Like, for example, I have 2 daughters. Okay. I'm never going to go and sit down with my daughter and talk to her about her period. I'll teach her, this is what you're supposed to do. No, that's why the mother is there.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. That's why my mother is there.
Yes.
And why?
Even if you were to do it, for example, if she were at your house and it starts,
it
would be the science and the mechanics behind it, which is
the science.
We'll do that.
We'll do this, we'll do that.
Now,
blah, blah. Yeah.
Are you okay? You're comfortable? You get her, even if she needs like maybe a hot water bottle, whatever.
Yes.
You're comfortable? I love you, boo-boo. Let's wait for your mom.
Let's wait for mom to get home.
An expert.
Yes, exactly. Because there's nothing wrong with that.
There's nothing wrong.
Yeah.
But in terms of women's role in masculinity, where does it exist? I don't see where it exists at all.
Yeah.
I would learn more about being a man from you two. Than I never learned from my own mother. Let's be honest.
I love that honesty. Jimmy, you have something to say.
No, home is based. Like, you are based. Like, I agree with what you've said.
Actually, Mondo, today you've come as in the
fire.
I'm asking Mondo. Because if you were to add anything, it's maybe some small form of nuance. Like the first question was, what are current issues facing masculinity? I like something. It's not just this gender fluidity. I believe it started from the third wave or second wave of feminism, when women were like, we're the same as men and we're never going to be the same. A man has his roles, a woman has his roles.
Is on that said even teeth are apparently equal, and they reject the notion of equality. That's why you have incisors, molars, premolars, canines, all of them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. First of all, let us be very clear about this.
Yeah.
This aspect of there's good feminism and there's actually messed up feminism.
It's actually
toxic and just messed up. Yeah. To argue the argument that we are equal, first of all,
it's illogical.
It's illogical.
Yeah, it's
I'm
ridiculous.
not saying that I am greater in terms of me being a man. I'm just saying it's illogical. Even that statement that I hate, what a man can do, a woman can do better. I really hate that statement.
Agreed.
Yeah, and it's not about.
We should start from pissing standing.
No, even forget pissing standing. Think about it this way. Yeah. If that is the case, if you're better than me, okay, I'd do a very simple experiment. I'd ask you to do this. I want you to just go somewhere and impregnate another woman. A very simple experiment. You can do it better. Please go ahead and impregnate. You could be standing up. You could spread your legs. Yes. I just want you to impregnate another woman. Do that. Yes. Oh my! I'll clap for you and tell you good stuff.
I'll say I agree with everything you've said, but save for one thing. Now, this is, I guess, the second thing. There is no good feminism, and I'll explain why. The very premises of feminism, it was not grounded on anything that was positive. Feminism was a fight for equal opportunity. That's where it ends. It starts and ends at equal opportunity. Everything beyond equal opportunity, the foundation was already shaky. Beyond that, it becomes very shaky because now we're talking about equal outcome, which I reject. You are 5'11", bro. I'm like 5 foot nothing, bro. How are we going to have equal outcome, right? Yeah, that's my take on it.
Yes.
That's the only place where we disagree.
There was an experiment that was done that where in fact this aspect of equality and feminism and all this, and where they said, and there was this idea of, let's say, women who have transitioned to be men, and then they were competing in sports. And still, those women could not compete in male sports. And when the male, the worst of the worst male, in that particular sport, when they transition to be a woman,
they dominate
that sport.
But you see, the reason I reject equal like outcomes or anything, like I say, there's no positive feminism. There's positive. Femininity is positive. Feminism is negative. Here's why. In Ukraine, they had a referendum. Everyone that had the vote voted. Right? What was the referendum about? Should we join NATO or should we abscond?
Yes.
They voted to join NATO overwhelmingly, both men and women. When the chicken came home to roost and Russia was knocking at the gates, the barbarians were at the gates, what happened to the women? They left.
In fact, they were the first ones to
leave. In fact, they didn't leave, they were evacuated.
Yes. Women and
right?
children.
We don't have a single all-female battalion. So explain feminism to me.
May I agree with you, and it's not politically correct to say in this day and age, but we have, in essence, we have refused to see reality so that we can make people feel good. Fifis over reals.
Over reals.
Yeah.
And the problem with that is it affects even masculinity in terms of women will say they want to be as independent as you, so men don't even know how to deal in terms of, let me give an example, like dating. The first date, who is supposed to pay?
Should be the man.
Most feminists will say it's a man, but...
No, most feminists will say, in theory, it should be 50-50.
Yeah.
Until you get at the dining table and the bill comes and you're like, you know what, this is on you.
Yeah.
And that now affects masculinity because at the end of the day, I provide, I protect, I lead.
Also, the misunderstanding of strength is what occasioned feminism. There is hard strength and there's soft power. Soft power is what? Soft power is you going home after you've had a long day and your wife just helps you ease into the family setting. And then you will open up and have a conversation, right? And you'll say, oh, by the way, Zola told me there's this opportunity. What do you think about that? There's power in that. In that soft, feminine nature, there's power. And it starts wars. That's how powerful it is. It can start wars.
Yes.
Right? Women lost the ability to wield soft power.
I can see that. Yeah, and also that is one of the reasons why it's becoming harder and harder right now to talk to even your own woman about things that you go through.
Yeah,
you can't, because the minute you start telling her, you'll be labeled. You're either weak, you don't know what, like you're
it's
not.
The isms.
Yeah,
you're either
all these things.
Misogynistic, or you're misogynist, or you're racist, or you're ism. It's you know.
Even Shaq himself, Shaq who is that big, said, "I cannot tell my woman the truth."
Yeah.
Let me tell you, I don't, and I'll never advocate for violence against women.
Yeah. No, same.
But let me tell you something that's so funny. Yeah, a woman, when slapped by another woman, if you slapped that woman who slapped your woman, she won't call you a violent man. Do you know that?
I'd say it's down to the value of the man.
Yes. Do you understand what I mean? Like, if she's attacked by a woman right now, you're in a club, stuff has gone down, this girl slaps her, and you as her man to protect her.
And you step in to protect her.
Yeah, and you slap that woman.
Yeah.
She will not call you a violent man.
Utapigwa na sims lakini. Utapigwa na sims.
But you can see the way this dynamic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like for feminism, it's like when it's convenient.
That's the one.
Yeah.
When it's convenient.
When it's convenient, I'm a feminist.
You know what you just reminded me? Number one. You know what? I was going to say number one content consumed by women is what? 50 Shades of Grey is what? Slap someone is, tie someone is. It's things that to you and I are anathema. Like if someone would tell me, Chim, I think it'd be hot if I tied your hands behind your back and I'm like, what?
Are you crazy?
What?
Yeah, I get what you mean.
Let me take the conversation further, because you're talking about masculinity. And it's funny we've gone to feminism a lot, which is ironic. It shows you how much we are saying women don't influence.
It's a problem. Feminism is a problem.
Yes.
It's a problem afflicting Kenya.
That's what I'm saying. It's interesting that you're saying women should not have a role in masculinity, but we have talked about for 10 minutes.
Actually, let me actually tell you. It's not that women should not have a role in masculinity. It is that women have forgotten their role. And that's why I spoke about what? Like with I'll give you an example of one of the most masculine societies on earth, the Spartans. Who was it that would like empower the Spartans, build them up to make them feel like you can go to war, invincible, and come back home?
Their mothers and
their mothers. Their mother would tell you, Niaje, you either come on your shield or come carrying your shield.
That was a nice scene in that movie.
Right? So ideally, women have just forgotten, thanks to feminism, how to speak to the men.
Yeah.
You get? Because a lot of things that men do, we do for the sake of keeping our women safe.
Thank you.
We do for the sake of making our women feel uplifted. Bro, the baddest hunter, one of the things at the back of his mind, and we all know this, one of the things at the back of his mind is him going back home, carrying those elephant tusks, and his wife coming and dancing, his daughters dancing, his children dancing. It's like, even his sons, and it's like, yes, I killed this thing. And that is a sense of accomplishment that women no longer know how to speak to.
Then let's go back to the initial question was, do women have a role in shaping masculinity?
It's a silent role.
That's the thing. Actually, I think you've actually said it very well. It is encouraging. It is speaking to your man and saying, I see you better than what you are right now. I see you as a better protector. I see you as a better leader.
Thank you.
Yes, I can see that as a way.
We've gone back to, we have, so audience, you have circled back.
So
Notice,
notice, these conversations never happen in public.
And
they never happen as a challenge.
Yeah. And actually, let me go to the next conversation because we have stayed there a bit. And this is something I think Mike might have gone through.
Yeah.
Recently.
Yes.
Is simping a real thing or just a derogatory word for romantic men? And you know what when I'm saying that, why?
Remember, we are talking about the video in which Mike was like, yo, let your woman lead.
Yes.
I told you I'd bring that up. That's the one thing I'll bring up.
Okay. Sour. No, I do let her do most of the things. And, there are things that I believe I don't mind my woman taking control of. Okay. For example, in the house, really, I don't mind. You decide what happens in this house, right? That's your business. As long as I make sure that everything that's needed is in that house. Yeah. Simping, like I said earlier, you have to remember what I told you. Finding balance in everything that you do makes you a man.
Okay.
Simping is when you go extreme.
Okay.
This woman is just, you're giving her crazy attention, you're giving her crazy affection. Like, your life literally is just around this woman. Now you're being a simp, and now you're going to an extreme. If it's everything, like, you're not a man without the identity of this woman.
Okay.
Now you're a simp.
And honestly, she's an idol in essence.
It's
you
like
put her on a pedestal.
Yeah, you put her here, and literally, then how are you going to lead that woman? How are you going to show her direction in terms of where you want to take the two of you as a family or as a couple? Yeah,
because the person who's present cannot lead the idol.
Also in Zola, and Zola kept repeating a word today: nuance. The nuance you've introduced has changed my perspective on. It's given more context to that video.
Yeah.
Because when you say that there are certain things that maybe she's better at you at.
Yeah.
So you'll just say, you know what, you'll help me here, you'll handle it.
Exactly. Like, actually, for example, I'll give you that. Yeah. I'll give you a very good example. My woman is extremely good at planning. Okay? Like to a fault.
Yes.
She can give you her day plan by the hour.
Can you say OCD or
machines? I don't know what it is.
Okay.
So whenever we have plans, like for example, over Christmas, we went to Naivasha. She knew we are going to wake up at this. Kids need this. She needs that.
These activities.
I'm the worst. In fact, if it was me going by myself, I would have simply just taken my bag, packed a few things, put it here. Hey, it's just so. Do it.
Okay.
She's better at planning, for example, shopping in the house.
Okay.
She's very good. She knows exactly how many chicken we should buy, how much unga we should get, how much sugar we should do.
Wow.
Everything to a T.
Okay.
So my only job is, how much is it going to cost me? Here, have.
Okay.
You figure it out.
Okay.
So there are things where I let her do that. But if you ask me, there are things that, for example, if there's a big decision that needs to be made, oh, hell no, I'll make it. Yeah. And that one, by the way, that's, you're telling me, for example, choosing where to live. If you say you want to live in Runda and I can't afford Runda, bruh, I'll tell you, imagine you're going to Syokimau. And that's the way it's going to be. And that is just the way things, you need to let your person handle the things that she's better at you with. Yeah, because we are not all good at everything.
Agreed.
Yeah. So if she's better at handling 1G as opposed to you handling 1G, let her handle that 1G.
Do you know you've explained?
But again, I'm going to interrupt over here with a big banner director will put over here. Subscribe, like, share. Subscribe. We need that help. Subscribe.
Yeah.
Subscribe.
You know what you've done right now? That video, when I watched it, it looked very bad. And now you've come and explained it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
You explained it so well, you can now see the mindset behind the video and what you're saying. Because at the end of the day,
my homies were apoplectic. We saw the video, we were all...
umekaliwa chapati bana.
I get that.
Us guys were going crazy. We're like,
but isn't that
this a simp captain?
No. Isn't that like, however, though, the problem with social media, where what you see, everyone will, of course,
they all react.
Yeah, you formulate an opinion until you understand the full story. The fact of the matter is, yes, Shiku is better at me at certain things. And on those things, I let her do it.
Interesting.
By all means, enjoy yourself. Feel free. Release. Yeah.
In fact, I have to just follow up quickly because what you have said about simping, actually, before I follow up, just what you've said about simping, I agree.
Yeah.
It's about degrees. There are people who accuse husbands of simping on their wives. And I think if you love a woman and...
No, let's not get things conflicted.
No.
But finish.
Let me finish. If you love a woman and as long as what you're giving is being reciprocated, that word, reciprocated. Yes. If it's being reciprocated, do it.
If you can answer the question of what you bring to the table and it's not me.
Yes.
Yeah. You see, you've answered. Yeah. What does she bring to the table? She brings planning, which is something that you might not be the best at.
Yes.
She's brought something to the table. Even I'll fall back. I'm like, homie,
it
makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Exactly.
You get.
Yeah. And that has been the dynamic that we have. That like I'm extremely good. Like for example, I don't like handling small bills. Don't tell me about TCG, gas imeisha, 3Gs. No, those small bills I really don't care about. But tell me bills like
rent.
School fees,
Yes.
vacation,
Yes.
Medication.
medical,
Healthcare, yeah.
big bills. Talk to me about small bills. In fact, don't even come to me with them. By the there's no sugars. There's
Yes, my time.
I think we should have framed this and said the difference today is the three of us are discussing long-term relationships versus simping versus you're getting.
Yeah.
Because I'm always just supposed in a position of thoughts. Me, it's always short-term, bounce. Short-term, bounce, short-term, bounce. So you guys are discussing almost a higher level where it's like, you've identified someone, now you're building together.
Yes. It is that aspect of we know where we're going, and we've had several conversations with her where I put down my expectations, she's put down hers. We have that conversation over and over. I think there was one time she introduced this thing called a couples AGM, where we sat down and literally there was a bunch of questions that we answered about each other.
Wow.
And literally, and it is those ones of no makasiriko. Like, what don't you like about me? And I tell you. And at the end of it, you even sign.
It's like a business.
It's like a business agreement in many ways. To the point that now, if you've forgotten something you promised, you can open that paper and be like, you see here, chapter 3, line 4. What did we say here? So what is going on here?
I will say, when you said that couples AGM, my first reaction was almost negative. But then I'm remembering, like a wise mentor of mine, Rollo Tomasi, shout out, who said, it's a woman's job to maintain the relationship. So when she comes up with something like that, if you guys can actually have that conversation without feelings being brought up, and you're working towards streamlining the relationship, that's, yeah.
So now we understand each other to the T. You cannot say you don't know. This is what I have told you.
In essence, this will actually segue very well to the next point. It's about biggest mistake a man can make, but I will frame it in a different way.
Now this is where you and I are diametrically opposed. I'll even start.
Wait, before you go there, I want to frame it in a different way in terms of, has the past affected, because they are speaking right now, there's so much wisdom I'm gleaning from your words. Have some of the mistakes you've made in your former relationships affected your thinking right now? And what is the biggest mistake you've made? But Chim will start.
Okay.
Subscribe, like, and share. Subscribe. But I'll start. The only place where you and I might be diametrically opposed, actually, thus far, like at odds, dating with someone who has children. I think a mother.
Yes.
That's why we're diametrically opposed. That single mother business.
Is
I
very
know that okay for that.
Yes.
And especially for someone who has met their bones, like you are a high value man, you are high status, high net worth. I do not advocate for anyone who is at that level to be dealing with a single mother.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your opinion is valid.
That was a very gentlemanly sidestep.
If we're in a bar, it would have been said differently.
But Mike might have seen something. Yeah.
No. I don't think for me it's ever bothered me about whether or not a woman has kids. I think since being younger, like this is not the first time, by the way, I'm dating a single mom. I've dated a single mom before, but I don't see a difference in it. I'm a person who I consider myself a child, like I love kids. Truly and genuinely love kids. I could sit down with kids for a whole day and have a really entertaining time. And so you having kids for me is not necessarily an issue. Just make sure that we have aligned our boundaries where the fathers of these children are concerned. That boundary must exist and has to be very clear. Yeah, I don't want any gray areas. Yeah. In terms of whether my past, I don't call them mistakes for my past, I call them lessons.
Okay.
Yeah, because to say it's a mistake is to mean that I regret whatever I've been through, and I don't regret anything I've done, ever. I entertain the thought of possibly other outcomes.
I've woken up naked in the neighbor's garden.
Yeah, never.
I regretted it. I have.
I call them lessons. I have 2 baby mamas. Yeah. And I feel like fine. I entertain the thought sometimes.
Jimmy shocked. Yeah, he has.
Yeah, I have 2
it's not
baby
one.
mamas.
It's 2.
And I think about it and I'm like, okay, what if you married either one of them? And then I think to myself, but I'd have been miserable. Extremely miserable. So I seek my joy.
Okay.
Now, if that joy is found in a woman who has 50 kids, as long as it's good for me and my mental health and my own persona, let's go 2020.
if you notice, men can have this conversation without it degenerating. If they were feminist or Lily Aisha, if there was a feminist Lily Aisha, if there was a feminist over here, it would have been war.
Yeah.
You see, you have explained where you stand, and you're standing on business.
Yes.
And it's done. I can't argue with you.
Yeah.
It's done. It's working for you.
It's working. And so I really don't care whether someone is a single mother, you're a divorcee. The question is, what am I getting out of this relationship?
What do you bring
it
to the
doing
table?
for me? Yeah.
What do you bring to the table?
Now, if it's worth it, you see, like, think about it like gold, right? If you find gold that was mined in a war zone, and gold that was mined in a nice free country.
Yes.
Yeah? You'd still look at it like, hey, gold, but still gold, sindio?
It's like those.
Lakini gold moja inakuja na responsibilities bwana. Gold moja inakuja na expectations.
Yeah, naelewa, but bado utaitaka, sindio? Bado utaitaka. And
Gold
I
is
guess
gold.
and you know, it's like, also think of it like us as men, we are very different and very diverse in many ways. I mean, there are men who can sit down and drink a whole bottle of whiskey. There are others who can sit down and even just a shot finishes them. You know, there are men who are confident enough to walk up to a woman. The other men who will slide into a DM.
Yeah.
So, you know, we're very diverse in terms of our abilities. And so for me, personally, as Mike, I don't mind dating a single mother. That has never been a problem for me ever.
And have you found any differences between a single mother and
Yes. Ooh, yes.
Clearly, bro, the single mother is not easy. The attraction is easy.
Yeah.
But yes, one year for Mondo.
Let me tell you, single moms are amazing. I tell you why.
Okay.
I tell you, if you're looking, and I'll tell you for this, they are amazing. If you're looking to settle down as a man,
Okay.
and you find a single man, a single woman, sorry, a single mother,
Yeah.
I'm telling you, it will be one of the easiest rides to run.
Because you are our only option. Like, bro, let's be honest.
And
she'll make it easier for you because you are Mondo.
Tim, tell me you don't want to be, don't you want to be seen as a prize?
I'm always seen as a prize. Like, let me tell you. My philosophy, there's something that you said, which at the back of mind, and I should have said this when you did, you were describing Ubermensch when you talked about balance. Be the best you can be physically, be the best you can be mentally, be the best you can be financially, be the best you can be every aspect, right?
Yes.
So that everything is almost like the thing is, we are not perfect. And you actually said that. We are not perfect.
We are not.
You will never achieve perfection. But the fact that you strive to be the best, there will be balance.
Yes.
Right? Ubermensch. Upperman, Superman, basically. Yes. I am that. And any woman that enters into all of the women who have entered into my sphere know that. So for me, mine comes down to the difference between, let's say, our personal philosophies is I believe I will pick the best of the best or the best or the best or the best. I am a top 5% man in this nation. I don't care what a feminist thinks.
Sorry if I interrupt, just a bit so I don't forget this. You'll pick the best.
Of the best of the best. Yes.
According to you or according to how she's perceived in society?
Now, actually, that's a good question.
Yeah.
It's both. And I'll tell you why it's both. I have a mentor. Actually, not a mentor. I have an auntie. I named my daughter after. Anyone that knows me knows my daughter's name, Chanisa, who made me read a passage that stuck with me for life. We don't see eye to eye, but she taught me something I cling on to life. Caesar's wife must be above reproach. What does that mean? It's even in society. I must walk with a babe who, when other guys see me with, there's no blemish on her name. When they see me with this babe, it's like, I see you, salute, right? And at the same time, she has to fit my ideal. Yeah.
Can I say why I will not date a single mother? I will not marry a single mother?
Yeah.
Even dating is a big complication. Very simple one. I'm selfish.
It's good to be honest, though.
Now we are speaking the same language.
It's good to be honest.
Same language, bro.
Yeah. And the selfishness is one thing. I want, when I'm grinding for a child, it is my blood.
Mine. And it's the first fruit of your womb. First of mine. Yes. Well, for you, it's the first of your loin.
Yes. And that person is, I'm grinding for someone that shares our blood, number one. Number two, I don't want to, the single mother, she comes with a child. A good mother a good mother will not
Puts
throw away.
her child first.
Yes,
actually.
a good mother
Puts
will
her
not
child first.
throw away a child because she's dating a man.
That's true.
So I want to give that child we have the best. And I know the best I can give that child is if I know it's my blood. In fact, there are studies on this. Let me give you one study that says children who look like their fathers
get the most of their father's love.
In fact,
investment.
Yes. In fact, if you have 3 or 4 kids in a family and one looks like the father the most, you'll hear daddy's favorite.
Okay.
Another thing that you can also introduce is the Cinderella effect. Usually step kids have 5 times more like that. 500 the chances of being victimized by the man, 500 the chance of being victimized. I don't know if it's 500, but women usually it's like physical abuse or torture and all, but for men it's usually insidious. It's
Sexual.
Bro, YouTube, bro.
Okay.
But you're getting. So that is something that any man would step back and be like,
Yeah, and be like, no, I understand the fear that comes with it. It is a responsibility. And by the way, you're very right, Zola, in terms of you don't take just the woman, you're taking the woman and the kids.
Yes.
That generally is what is supposed to be expected if indeed you want to be with that woman.
Yes.
In my case, I'm at a point where I feel like I already have 2 of my own. I don't feel the need to procreate again.
Good point.
So even if you came with your 3, and we became this blended unit, then I don't want any more kids in terms of like I've procreated anymore. I will still give love to those children. Like I said, I love kids. Generally, I love kids. There's some of my family members, extended family members whose kids, literally, I have educated. I have treated them like my own children. And so I look at it like children should never have to be like a point at the people who suffer in such an environment. Whichever way you look at it, whether me and your mama dating, we're married, that kid still deserves the best in life, and so you do your best with what you have to give that child the best.
The last talking points is the biggest mistakes a man can ever make, not you. What do you think a mistake a man can never make? And the best advice you can give a man trying to get ahead in this life, relationships, just a whole holistic answer.
The biggest mistake you can ever make as a man is not knowing yourself and understanding yourself. Forget everything else about quitting a job, but not knowing who you are. So that you understand your boundaries, your limits, your expectations, your everything. If you don't know who you are, let me tell you, don't even mess around with women. Figure yourself out. So that even when a woman is coming into your life, you don't even need to speak. Just your aura alone will tell her, wait here, I can't joke. You understand? All men should figure out who are you, what are your standards, what are your beliefs, what are your needs, what are your requirements, and don't compromise on them. If people want to be a part of your life, let them be a part of your life. If they don't, they can walk and feel no shame about it. It wasn't for you.
All right, so director, you'll put up something over here at this point. The word is pusillanimous. That is something that you are not. Bro, you have stood 10 toes down. I was even saying this off camera. I have a newfound respect for you. Like in a sense that, you are defining what you are, what being a man is yourself. Like, forget what everyone else says. Mondo is Mondo.
Everyone is going to have an opinion, bro. I mean, how many times are we going to listen to other people's opinions? Let me ask you, Zola, when you came out of your mother's womb, did you come out with those millions of followers? No. You came out by yourself.
And I received that in Jesus' name.
Amen.
Well, Zola, I'll say, to be fair, you need those people to be able to build.
No, you need them. I don't refuse. But however, their opinion of you should not shape your choices, your character as a man. It should not shape your moves. As a man should be all about, this is what I want. This is what I need to do to achieve what I want. Like I always say, don't throw stones at a thief before you know why he's stealing. You throw stones at him and kill him, and then you find out that, by the way,
kuna mtoto amebaki bila wazazi sasa.
Ama let's say this guy was stealing to go and feed 10 kids.
In essence, what you're saying is don't be, even Jesus said, don't be the first to
Don't
cast
be the
a stone.
first to cast a stone. Yeah, even Jesus said it.
Yeah, don't be the first to cast a
You're
stone.
there saying, oh, this guy is like this guy is like this. Do you know why he's doing it? Yeah? He's doing something. That's his life, boss. Learn. We need, in fact, in 2024, let this be a message to every man.
Yeah.
Learn how to mind your own business, do your part, and move with life. Because at the end of the day, when you're Mzee, people will not remember you for the things that you have not done. They'll remember you for the things you've done.
Yeah, so on this one, we are going to differ. Mimi ukinibia, mimi ukinidhuru. Nachoma wewe.
But you see, that's the thing. It's exactly what I'm saying. That you have a standard. You will not take from cheap. You understand? That's what I mean. You have a standard. For me, even I would tell you for free. Hurt anyone you want in my life, never touch my kid. Yeah? You touch my kid, bro. Me, I'll be with Joey. By the way, tutakuwa huko na Joey tukikula hiyo ugali.
Alafu watu walijamu, unajua watu wanajamu.
No.
Don't introduce your mother.
Don't be like my picture.
No, let's be honest. My child no goes on.
Agreed entirely. Mine would be everyone around me whom I cast a shadow above. Don't touch. Zola?
Even this thing about...
This was going to who are you protecting, Bwana?
Family also.
Keep with the energy of kufurisha chest.
Okay, my mom and my sis and our friends also. Like Chim is my brother. So yeah. Those are people. Yeah.
But in terms of advice to any man who's trying to make it in life, or rather to make it as a man, just figure yourself out first. Once you figured yourself out, everything else tends to align. Because now you stop chasing or attracting things that are not aligned with who you are. Figure that thing out. That's the most important thing.
Not like Mondo has impressed me so much.
Mondo leo amekuja na hiyo fire.
I'm 42 years old.
Fire.
No, for real. The answer you've given,
Mondo, you have been
answer.
so blazed.
Yeah.
Let me not lie to you. When I'll be very honest with you, I know you're in the corporate sphere.
Yeah.
You have a very good career. You've built. You built it. No one gave it to you. Built it, right?
I built it.
A very good corporate career. Yeah. And at the back of my mind, it was always like, he's probably going to play safe. He's probably going to be, following the gynocentric order. And Mondo, you have stood on your 2 feet. No disrespect to anyone, but this is me. I define me. Like it, hate it, I define
That's the way it is. I receive a lot of hate. You're not the first person to talk to me about
that video
that we did. A lot of people have talked to me about it, and I was like,
friends.
Friends have
family.
There's a cousin of mine who's asked me about it, and I'm like, bro, see, I did a video, and my woman was there. Yeah. See, the video was for me and my woman when we sasa wewe
with your wife.
Chakula usichokila. Pilipili usioila ya kuasha nini. It's my video. It was on my page.
Yes.
Sasa shida.
Come and beat me then.
You do what you want to do.
Have you always been like this, Ama? This is something over
that you grew into.
I grew into. I was, I think earlier in life, I always used to be that kid who used to do everything
by the book.
The proper way, by the book.
Yeah.
That's how I ended up, being in a career in nursing. Yeah, I really did not want to be a nurse or to be in the medical profession, but because, mzazi anataka, this is like this, so you just follow what you're told over and over. My first ever moment of me being my own person was quitting that job and saying, you know what, I don't want to do this anymore. And coming to Nairobi, not knowing what I'm going to do, how I'm going to make ends meet, and just saying, you know what, something will work out. And stumbling onto radio, and over time, I've been that sort of making decisions for myself, by myself.
Growing, even it's called growing by the mistakes or something.
Yes.
Growing through the errors.
Yes. So you make those, those small bumps here and there. You mess up here, you mess up there. But over time, it molds you to the point that now this is the line I don't cross.
May I ask you something that's a passion project of mine, Kidogo? Mentorship.
Yeah.
Would you ever consider offering? If there were an organized way for you to offer it, would you?
Yes, I would. I would. In fact, funny enough, you say this. one of the pastors at my church, by the way, big shout out Pastor Mike. He's also called Mike. He's been telling me about that and to talk to the younger, the early teens, you know, and trying to get them early into that ideology of you know, learning to getting to know yourself and getting to understand what it is that you want out of your life, your expectations for your own self. Because it's like the way people say, the only competition you have is yourself. It's not Chim, it's not Zola, it's not the other person. You are your own biggest competition. If you'll decide whether or not you're going to fail or you're going to win. So he always tries to encourage me to do the same. I do it all the time with my kids. Sometimes their mothers get angry.
Let me ask you, and I'm asking this because there doesn't seem to be mentorship outside of church. Would you ever have like a program where it's not about leading someone down your faith? It's literally, let's just sit and talk. As men, I will teach you about my journey. You'll tell me about your journey, and we will converse. And I see how I can help.
Yes, I would do it. I would definitely love to do something like that, but especially for boys. Sana for boys.
Agreed.
The reason why I'm saying boys is because I feel like a lot of young people today need that guidance, and there are not enough men. I think for the older men who can give it, they're so. We're so big. We find these young people are not ready to listen. We haven't yet learned how to speak their language, you know, and so we can't reach them. So we feel a bit helpless in terms of you'll not listen to.
And then you detach.
You know, it's like how everyone always says nowadays, like I really dislike that notion, but everyone you ask young people, what do you do for, what do you do? What is it? Oh, I'm a student. I study this and I'm a content creator. I'm a content creator. So I always ask, tell me your content, show me your content. And then when they show me their content, I always see them dancing or doing something whatever, and they're getting likes. And so that validation from social media has gotten to be such a big part of their life that now they can't see beyond it. And let's be honest, social media is not necessarily the best example of how to be a man or even how to be a woman.
Yes, very true. Very true.
So they end up growing this without them understanding the reality that eventually, if you're a woman, that beauty will fade. What do you have to show for?
Very true.
As a man, by the time that your hype is over, okay, now you're old, people find you boring. Another new generation has come up. Your content is no longer interesting. As a man now, who's going to hire you? Now in your 40s, 50s, what are you going to do? You can no longer dance like you used to on those videos. So there's that aspect of, I would like to teach boys the idea of, you know what, think way beyond. Think from the future back. I see myself doing this and this and this in my 50s. And then bring it backwards and ask yourself, what actions do I need to take now that would get me there by that time?
And that last question, because you have to close, you've given out so many nice answers.
Subscribe, guys, subscribe, like, share, subscribe. Leave a comment. Who do you agree with? Who do you disagree with? Just leave a comment and subscribe, like and share.
The last question, this is now you're taking the floor. What will Mike Mondo love to be remembered? As in, your eulogy is being read. What are they saying about Mike?
I would like to be remembered as the man who made my father proud. And I'll explain to you why. I didn't grow up. For the early part of my life, my dad was alive until I was 12 years old when he passed away. Everything I do, I'd like to picture the fact that this is making him smile. He was a great man. He was a very great man. If at the end of the day, whoever reads my eulogy can say, for his entire life, his father would have been proud. For that, I would tell God, I've done my part. I'm happy. I'm content.
We don't know your father. What would have made your father proud, Bwana?
My dad.
Yeah.
Oh, my dad was happy-go-lucky. Like what stories that I'm told nowadays is that he was happy-go-lucky, but he was also serious. So basically, my dad is the kind of person who discipline you, beat you, and proper belts na nini.
Yes.
But then in the morning, take you and just you who is disciplined, put you in the car, drive you to a supermarket, buy you ice cream, and then sit down with you and tell you, Baba, you know, this is why I beat you yesterday. Eh? You know, when you do things like this, this is what you're doing.
That's a good discipline.
You know, And he comes and explains it to you in such a way. My dad taught me the beauty of earning for what you want. I was never denied anything growing up.
Oh.
Yeah. If I wanted a new pair of sneakers, my dad always used to ask me, what's in it for me?
Wow.
And
I like that. Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
And then I'd be like, what do you mean? He tell me, okay, I usually pay this guy to wash my car 200 shillings, or maybe at that time it was like 50 bob to wash my car. How much are those shoes? He says, let's say I say those shoes are 300. And he'll tell you, okay, then wash my car 6 times. And by the way, you'd wash his car 6 days in a row. You come back from school and you find the shoes are waiting for you.
Wow, that's a man of his word. I love that.
You know, tangential. What is the most beautiful thing about the conversations that we're having is we are not trying to be effeminate men. We're not trying to have conversations around toxic masculinity. This is not man talk. This is literally just men being men in a space where you don't care if you offend me. I don't care if you offend me. If you know, vice versa and all. It's you literally just creating your own rules.
Yeah. At some point.
And there are rules that I respect. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
So salute.
Thank you very much also for coming through.
Oh, anytime.
Guys, I hope you enjoyed the show. Mike, you can say likes, share, and subscribe.
Share, subscribe.
With the wonderful baritone?
Baritone.
Yes.
Baritone.
Yes.
And also comment. Yeah. And also comment. Please do that.
Yeah, we're good.
All right.